it's Miss Taylor back with week 3 of garden lessons. This week we are going to continue with our garden story time by reading a book called Mossy by Jan Brett. On a misty, moisty morning, a young turtle stood at the edge of a lily pad pond. Her name was Mossy. Mossy liked this damp, cool place. She spent so much time here that curly queues of moss began to grow on her carapace, until her shell was covered with them. As the spring days got warmer, tiny ferns unfurled and wildflowers began to blossom. Soon Mossy's shell was home to an amazing garden. Mossy liked to look at her reflection in Lily Pad Pond and see what was growing in her garden. Every day brought a surprise, a new flower, or perhaps a delicious wild strawberry. Mossy's garden was growing wider and taller. One day, Mossy was standing by Lily Pad Pond when the water rippled and 2 ruby red eyes looked up at her. It was a handsome turtle she hadn't seen before. Scoot had never seen a lady turtle like Mossy. He thought her garden was pretty, but it was Mossy who made his heart beat. She was breathtaking. Scoot scrambled up the bank and walked towards Mossy. Entranced by those ruby eyes, Mossy made her way into the open glade towards Scoot. Just then, Dr. Carolina, on her morning walk with her niece, Tori, spotted Mossy. Gently, Dr. Carolina picked her up. She is perfect for the museum. Never had Dr. Carolina's museum had a wonder as extraordinary as a garden-growing turtle. She and Tori made home for Mossy in a viewing pavilion with plants, a reflecting pool, and everything they thought a turtle would need. But Mossy already had everything she needed back at Lily Pad Pond, and she longed to go home and find her new friend. Every day Scoot waited for Mossy, but Mossy didn't come back. All summer, visitors came to see Mossy in her famous garden. They watched her eat raspberries and mealyworms, mushrooms and lettuce, but Mossy didn't seem happy to Tori, and Dr. Carolina was too busy to notice. Mossy was lonely for Scoot. She had stopped looking at her garden in the reflecting pool because it made her remember those ruby red eyes, shining like jewels, peering at her from Lily Pad Pond. Thoughts of Scoot only made her sad. Snow fell outside, but inside the museum, Mossy's garden kept growing, and people flocked to see her. Dr. Caroline was thrilled that Mossy had made her museum famous. Today, Tori and her class had come to see Mossy. The meteorites and geodes amazed the children. They loved the woodland diorama, the butterflies and the shells. Finally, Dr. Carolina said it was time to see a special exhibit. The children gathered around the viewing pavilion. At first, they didn't see Mossy. Then she started to walk, her magnificent garden swaying back and forth. The little turtle captivated the children. Mossy is a special turtle, Dr. Carolina told them. Her garden grows and changes all year round. She is never hungry or cold. She is safe living in the museum. Here with us, Mossy could live to be 100 years old. Tori frowned. She loved the museum. She had helped her aunt collect wonderful things on their walks. But Mossy was the first living creature that Dr. Carolina had taken to live in the museum. Is that why she looks sad? Tori asked. Do you think Mossy is happy here? Tori asked her aunt. Does she have any turtle friends? The children asked. 2 women arrived at the back of the museum. Dr. Carolina and Tori were there to meet them. Everyone wondered what this meant. 1 day passed, 2 days passed, then 3. After a week, everyone was invited inside. Dr. Carolina introduced the 2 mystery women. Please meet Flora and Fauna, she said. The curtain was pulled aside. revealing a portrait of Mossy, larger than life, with her garden painted in glowing detail. Flora had painted all the plants, and Fauna had painted Mossy. Together, the artists had captured a moment in time that would never fade. Everyone cheered and clapped. At dusk, Dr. Carolina gently put Mossy in a collection basket. "Come with me," she said to Tori, and off they went to take Mossy to Lily Pad Pond. Together they said goodbye to their garden-growing friend and put her in the glade next to the waterfall, exactly where Dr. Carolina had found her. Mossy was home. The next morning, the warm spring sun woke up Scoot from his bed beneath the leaves. He opened his ruby eyes and saw Mossy. Their year apart vanished into the past. At the museum, the portrait of Mossy continued to amaze visitors. "What an extraordinary work of art and nature," they exclaimed. The world changed as the years went by and Tori grew up, but Mossy's portrait is there in Dr. Carolina's museum for all to see, not knowing that not far away on a misty, moisty edge of Lily Pad Pond, an old turtle still stands. Her name is Mossy. The end. Today I am here at Capitol Park where I read the book Mossy by Jan Barrett. And my goal or invitation to you guys this week is to see if you can spy any moss growing on trees or rocks or benches. This is a great time to keep an eye out for moss because it is so wet and moist from all those spring showers that will hopefully bring us some nice, beautiful flowers come summer and the end of school year. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time, and I can't wait to see you guys next week.